Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
There's only 2 races left in the regular season. The cutoff mark is 11 points. 2 drivers could be eliminated if another driver wins here tonight. We have 9 different winners over the season, and half of those victories go to one man, Jeremy Burns. Live here tonight from Richmond Raceway, it's the Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series presented by Racing Revolution. Welcome in for the cookies and cream. Don't even know the number, 200. I think it's like the 175. Alex Gagnon, Bradley Cooper in the broadcast booth here on V-Speed, and we're set, ready to go to bring you some short track action under the lights. Alex, this racetrack will not disappoint for the regular season.
Yeah, certainly. Well, this is a fun place to be. One of those short tracks that really lets you get into a nice rhythm, and I actually think we're going to see a lot of really good racing, and it's not just going to be like a Martinsville where you just pile into each other every corner and hope everyone makes it through it. This will be something where you really are going to see some driver skill on display here today. You can see the track map up on your screen. 14 degrees of banking in the corners, 8 degree down the front straightaway. This will be a very tricky place to get around while keeping your tires in one piece if the tire looked anything like this weekend.
Yeah, and that bump into turn 1, outside line could come into play, but drivers will have to be extra careful to not push up into one another as they enter that corner. And it's very easy to overshoot the entrances. Everybody's got a different braking point and exit point, so you'll have to be mindful of that, especially in traffic. 30 cars out here tonight, but the main story here, Alex, after Watkins Glen, it tightened up here between 16th and 17th place, and we were talking about Trevor Keith and what he was trying to accomplish there at Watkins Glen. That was a track he had circled. Justice Murphy could get knocked out of the top 16, provided he doesn't win this race tonight. If we have another new winner, and that could be anybody down to 26th, we could eliminate another driver on points alone.
Yeah, that's where things start getting really dicey. You know, for the folks like Tyler Harris and Dakota Floyd, you're basically good to go at this point with 2 races left in the season. Just start them, get to the end of the race, you're fine. But for those folks, you know, Caleb Gilbert, Kevin Orlando, Justice Murphy, it's a really precarious place to be. You know, it's better to be there than on the outside looking in, but by no means is that a real safe pick to say that they're going to make it at the moment. Because Richmond, you know, short track talent, you know, presents itself in a lot of different ways that you don't necessarily see from a mile and a half or a big super speedway. So you might see some new faces running up front here tonight. And then on top of that, you know, I mean, we have Daytona next week as the regular season finale, and who knows where a random winner could come there with the way those races have been going in this next-gen car.
Race analysis on your screen. 200 laps, pit road speed limit, difficult 35 miles per hour, 5 tire sets available, 2 green-white checkers at our disposal with the stage at lap 35. Stage points also important here for the postseason. 50% fuel on the iRacing Fix setup, as always. With that, it's time to take you trackside and get that grid up on the screen, and taking away the top spot. The Coastal Financial Pole Award is going to go to this driver right here. Trevor Keith has come to play. He's ready to go. Coastal Financial Pole Award to the number 15. Our mission at Coastal Financial is to provide comprehensive financial planning solutions tailored to each individual's unique needs and goals, with the aim of empowering our clients to make informed financial decisions and achieve their financial potential. You can find us at coastalfinancial.com or on Facebook at Coastal Financial. Congratulations to the number 15 on that pole award. Starting to his outside, it's going to be Carter Lenz. Man, these guys have turned it up. Everybody going after Jeremy Burns, and there's your front row for tonight. Row number 2 goes to Travis Gilbert, Michael Reed in the 4th position. Then you have Jeremy Burns, your points leader, with Tyler Harrison in the 45. Row number 4 belongs to Michael Call, Dakota Floyd in the 8th position, and that top 10 with Justin Ritchie and Kyle Stewart.
It'll be Jacob Sirkovich and Justice Murphy back in row 6, just in front of Nick Alves and Grant Thorpe in that 77. Row 8 will be Michael Bennett and Matt Robinson, Parker Johnson and 4-time Rob Rader rolling up 17th and 18th. Your top 20, Caleb Gilbert, Kevin Orlando Jr. just behind them.
We've got 10 more cars that we're going to display on the bottom half of your screen. But here we go for another week of Racing Revolution, week 23, I do believe. As we lead them into turn 1, green flag is out, and we're underway. Leading lap 1 from the pole. Trevor Keith gets by with the first one. Travis Gilbert already moves up a position, gets around Carter Lenz. And they're side-by-side back here for the 4th position, diving to the inside. There's your points leader trying to gain a spot. We have a lot going on back here for 12th. Car on the wall.
Certainly do, as Dakota Floyd clips the wall there off of 4. Cars still too wide all throughout this field. You see right here, that's Grant Thorpe trying to get around Nick Alves on board with the car just behind them. So that's Michael Bennett there in the 14. There he goes to the inside. Going to get around the 24 with ease. Alves did not have a good 3 and 4 there. Looks like Alves trying to hold on to that outside spot. A lot of jostling for position here in the early couple of laps at a short track because everyone's just so stacked on top of each other. There's not a lot of real estate to work with. It's going to take a few minutes here for these guys to kind of get separated and find a spot where their car is really going to start running the best, because everyone is just too close right now to really find their own little bit of running room.
Teammates going side by side here with Justin Ritchie, Dakota Floyd. This is for the 8th position. Floyd holds it on the outside. Turn 2 wall. Didn't really get a chance to talk about it, Alex, but how hard is it to get off of turn 2 here at Richmond?
One of the hardest things you can do in this series, I feel like. That wall jumps out at you so fast. We'll take a look here with Justin Ritchie. See, down on the inside, he's got a car to his outside. Really has to get that car to rotate, as you see. There's Murphy going by on the high side. Ritchie back down low. We'll take another look at it here when he tries to get up to the wall. It is really deceptive getting off of 2 because the way the track is paved, there's that little bit of a dip coming out of the corner to get it back down from the banking, and it just really upsets the car while you're getting up to that wall. Every time, especially when your tires start going away, that becomes a really treacherous part of this racetrack.
They're side by side for 13th position. Michael Bennett and Grant Thorpe going at it. A lot of changes outside
Orlando's
the top
in the
10
wall.
around for the 27. Caution's out.
First caution of the night for Kevin Orlando Jr. That's a driver who came in barely above that cut line. He was 15th. That is not the way he wanted this race to begin. Early incident here on lap 8.
So we back this up. This is out of 1 and 2. It's actually out of 4 where the problem happens. And I'm not sure if John Fike got into him. Yeah, Fike just overshot the entry of 3.
That was a little bit of bumper cars from there. I think the 27 wouldn't have gone into that outside wall at first if it was just the initial contact, but that stacked him up so bad. You see Picklesheimer gets into the back of Fike here after this, and it's the second bit of contact is what ends up sending the 27 around into that outside wall. Very, very tough break and tough start for a driver who really needed to maximize his points tonight. You see Fike going to pull down pit road. Same deal with Holloway, and there's Orlando.
And the other part, the factor here, is that this track is 3/4 of a mile, so you don't have a lot of time to repair damage. You pretty much get the jacks up on the car, and then here comes the field out of 4. So you got to be quick on it here. You're already seeing just at the stall here for the 27. They're in turn 3.
It doesn't help as well. Not only is this a small track, but because it's a small track, pit road speeds are pretty limited. So it takes you a while to get into your box. You don't have a lot of time on track before the field comes back around, and then it takes forever to get out of your box because the pit road speed of 35 miles an hour. It is really an uphill battle when you're trying to repair damage while cars are still moving on track here. It is a really tall order because there's a lot of factors working against you.
Well, here's a guy that has tried to win a race, and I would say probably put in the most time of anybody practicing for the past 4 weeks. Trevor Keith has been oh so close. He's finished runner-up. He's finished with the most laps led. I believe he led all but maybe 10 laps at Chicago Street Course. He led a lot of laps at Watkins Glen. He's had top 5 finishes, top 3 finishes. He's put together a very solid second half to this regular season. But go back to the beginning, and if you have the statistics on hand, look at what happened to Trevor Keith for the first 4 or 5 weeks. DNFs, outside the top 20, crashed cars, several laps down. You take that away, he doesn't have to worry about winning. He's been so consistent that he would have pointed his way in, but now he's in a situation where it's almost a do or die.
It really is, and the 2 cars closest to him that he's chasing are Justice Murphy, who's currently sitting in the top 10 as well, so not getting a ton of points there as they currently run because they're both in position to pick up some stage points. And then Kevin Orlando Jr., who is now at the tail end of this field with some damage. So potentially, some lights going off for both Murphy and for Keith, knowing that opportunity is there to try to capitalize on the misfortune of the 27 as we are racing once again at Richmond. Trevor Keith's going to lead them down into turn 1.
And we've got 3 wide back here in the middle of the pack. How's this going to work out?
Can't imagine. Quick. Well, man, they did not take long to immediately try jumping the car in front of them. And that could have been a lot worse.
A lot happening on these restarts, and it was Justin Ritchie, I think, that went to the inside, whether intentional or not. Sometimes wheel spin will send a car down low, and guys behind him go to the middle. 89 of Michael Call. He's been racing with Jeremy Burns now for about 10 laps, and Burns kind of fallen back a little bit, back to 6th. Maybe just relaxed here tonight. I wouldn't say that he has too much to worry about, as he is the points leader by a huge margin we talked about in the pre-race.
Yeah, he really has put together a dream regular season, looking to try to make something happen here tonight, maybe try to pick up, I believe it's win number 10 on the season, which would be wild. So far, so good for the 9. We're only running that 6th spot. Our stage tonight is set for lap 35, so we are already very quickly ticking away at it. As Parker Johnston gets shuffled out of line here, the 48 looks like he had an issue coming out of 2. Don't know if that was because he got help to get out of line or simply he was chasing the race car down the hill.
I think he was chasing it down, but there was 3 wide just ahead of him there for a moment. So the car, he really had to drive the bottom of the racetrack, and that's the other factor of turns 1 and 2. And we got side by side here with Carter Lenz, Travis Gilbert. Lenz on the outside.
He looks like he's going to make that work, too, on the outside. He's in a really good spot here coming off of turn 2. Gets the exit up to the wall. Doesn't quite clear the 22. Travis Gilbert not going away too easily. A nice little duel here for second is really starting to shape up. You can also add Michael Reed to that mix. He's right on their tail as well. But Lynn's now going to drive down to the apron. He'll take that second spot away. So he qualified second. He's back up the second now. But he's about 9/10 back of race leader Trevor Keith, who was definitely enjoying that battle, I have no doubt.
So Trevor Keith pulls away about 0.8 of a second. Remember that stage at lap 35, so 15 to go when Trevor Keith comes across that line. We have single filed out for most of the top 10. You have to go back here to Michael Bennett at the end of it. Justin Ritchie trying to chase him down. And then the side-by-side starts here with Caleb Gilbert and Kyle Stewart in 16th. That's a battle. And Stewart falling back a little bit, down 7 positions now. He's had a rough start. Started up in the top 10. Qualifying not the issue. It's the longevity of speed here. Some of these guys are pushing the issue for stage break. And if you're Kyle Stewart right now, probably not so much worried about positions lost, but just trying this car for the long run and longevity. It's got to be difficult to gauge your speed when everybody's pushing for that stage break and you're out here trying to race 200 laps. So I wouldn't worry too much if you're a Kyle Stewart fan right now. He's probably going to be back up there in the top 10 before you know it. Right now, just trying to figure out that happy medium for tire save, and that's what Richmond's all about. Lap after lap, these drivers are experimenting. That's what stage 1 is all about. You want to experiment with the car, see what it's capable of, and then check those numbers. What's that tire wear when you come down pit road? You're pretty much guaranteed that everybody's going to come down for 4 fresh ones, and that's provided we don't have a caution just before that stage break that could reset this field. And I've seen a lot of races here for Trevor Keith that have went sour when that happens. Right now, sitting pretty, 7/10 ahead of Carter Lenz. And the drivers that have just pushed harder every week. Carter Lenz also on that list. Travis Gilbert, he's got a couple victories under his belt. There's not very many multi-time winners this season. Travis Gilbert on that list. And then Jeremy Burns back up to 5th. Got back around Michael Call, and the Shield 89 is going to peek to the inside. A little blink out there for the 9 just for a moment. Burns having a connection issue here tonight. He doesn't have the driver camera on, so I think maybe a slight internet malfunction. He could have moved back to the dorm as well. I know college is going to be firing back off here. We also have a little connection issue there with 89, so got to keep the cameras on these cars getting a little bit difficult. Gilbert will take another stab into 1. They've shaved off about 1/10 of a second a lap now on Trevor Keith. As Jeremy Burns will go to the outside, trying to get around the 91. There's a pass for 4th, can't get it out of 4. Martin's driving a lot deeper into the corner. Thought maybe out of 2 he could get to the outside and take that position away. Seeing another stab for 2nd. These drivers start racing side by side again. And these next 5 laps, Trevor Keith could absolutely check out. You got Justice Murphy on the edge of the top 10. And here's a pass by Dylan Picklesheimer on Michael Bennett. Picklesheimer up to 10th now. On the bottom of the racetrack, the Pacifico 14. The crossover into 1. That's the problem with Richmond. You get around a guy, he's going to go right back on offense immediately to the inside. Harry Hudgens, Debbie Smith, everybody, Shannon Drosselmeyer, Ruth Ann. Good to see everybody in the chat, the faithfuls here at V-Speed. Go ahead and drop the driver you think is going to win this race tonight. And Alex, I don't know about you, but I really favor, and I'm not going to jinx him, I really favor this 15 though.
You can't argue with how he started this race. qualified on the pole, and he's led every lap to this point. And he's only a couple laps away now from potentially clinching this stage, which would be huge points in that quest to try to get above that cut line. Great battle continuing, though, for second. Carter Lynch, Travis Gilbert. Oh, caution's out.
Caution's out, and that's going to be within the mark of the stage break, within that 3-lap window, and that's going to do it. And it's Christopher Schaefer that goes around, and that's going to hand stage 1 over to Trevor Keith in the number 15. So stage points coming your way. That's what Trevor Keith wanted, but maybe not exactly like that. He might have had some numbers and calculations. So put the top 10 on the left-hand side. Keith, Linz, Gilbert for the top 3. You've got Michael Reed, Jeremy Burns, the top 5. Michael Call. There is Tyler Harrison in 7th position. Dakota Floyd, Justice Murphy. That's another important thing to remember here, is that Justice Murphy is in 9th here. He's going to get stage points. And then Dylan Picklesheimer, of course, as we have stage complete.
Now stops underway for the first time tonight for the field. Everyone diving into their box. Looks like everyone, at least in this front group, got in pretty cleanly. Right side's dropping. Don't think anyone thinking about taking 2 tires. Never mind.
22 did.
Travis Gilbert proves
He's been
me
known
wrong.
for it.
He certainly has been. He's going for the track position. And the rest of the field, big race 3 wide off of pit road. But, man, Travis Gilbert, 2-tire call. Very early in the race to test the 2-tire call, I feel like. But I'm wondering if he is seeing some of his tire wear from that opening run and has decided it's not that bad and the track position is going to be more critical. Which wouldn't entirely shock me with these next-gen cars. I mean, we've seen more times than not, track position does beat tire with this next-gen car.
Trevor Keith won the battle off of pit road by 2 1/1000ths of a second with Carter Linz on the outside. Travis Gilbert will be your command car for this restart. Don't go anywhere. We're going to take a quick commercial break live on V-Speed. Back with Richmond Raceway right after this.
Chapman's been around for 32, almost 33 years. You know, it's a great company. We've built it from 10 people not all that long ago to 32 people today. We continue to grow. We're hiring people all the time. If there's one thing that I could do, like before my time is up at Chapman, it is making sure that we built a company that will stand the test of time. And my goal as the current owner of the company, or one of the owners of the company, is to ensure that we can pass the ownership of the organization on to the next generation of people coming up the ranks today.
Welcome back here to our coverage as stage number 2 has begun. Travis Gilbert on 2 tires will be the command car as he goes into turn 1. The 15-year stage winner, Trevor Keith, gonna have to find his way around him. And we were questioning it during the break here. Alex, I don't know if I agree with the call for 2 tires. It doesn't seem like it's very practical, especially when you talk about how he was up in the top 3. I mean, he didn't really gain much from this, and he stands to lose a lot more if it doesn't work.
Yeah, I'm interested to see. I mean, you see he is absolutely checking out right now. He's got some wicked speed.
11's around.
Oh, Robinson. Matt Robinson almost into that inside wall. I think he was able to keep it off it, but lost all of his track position. He's down to 29th or so now.
Got loose on his own, drifts it out of turn 2, keeps it off the wall. A close call there for Matt Robinson.
And that's the second time tonight we've seen someone lose control of the car in that exact fashion, having to be on the inside of 2 cars and exiting to the middle lane in turn 1 and 2. We saw Parker Johnston almost lose it there a few laps ago, and now Matt Robinson. That is a tricky place to be, and I have a feeling the rest of the field is starting to take notice of that. if you are... Oh, and this was the incident before the stage, I believe. This is what we're looking at?
Yeah, this is back at the stage end, and I'm not really sure. iRacing threw a caution for that. That was pretty mild, if you ask me.
That was the iRacing equivalent of the old debris caution.
Yeah, that was pretty mild. There wasn't very many cars around him, and usually you have to get more than a 40-degree angle to trigger a yellow.
Oh, there is cars hitting the wall, though. Bennett
57.
in 3 and 4. Dakota Floyd, Michael Bennett got tangled up in 3 and 4. Fit the 14 and the 57. I don't know exactly what happened. I just caught it, the tail end of that camera cut, but something happened here to these two.
It's right around 10th position where this goes down.
Oh, and looks like Picklesheimer gave him a little bit of a nudge. Somehow that didn't bring out the yellow, but the spin that Schaefer had did. Yeah, that heartbreaking for Michael Bennett, though. I mean, that's going to be some pretty notable rear end damage. He's going to have to try to get fixed next time he's down pit road. But with no caution, it's going to be a little while.
Dakota Floyd on the radio, not very happy with Picklesheimer on that pass. But right now, as it sits, Travis Gilbert has loosened this car up, and it's driving quite well. 1 full second ahead of Trevor Keith. It looks like it's worked out for the 22.
It certainly has worked out for now. However, we are expecting a fuel run of about 60 laps or so if this stays green. They've been able to open up a 1 second gap over this 10 laps here, but will the long-term effects start to kick in later in this run if this stays green? That's what I'm keeping my eye on. You see Trevor Keith right now doing a good job holding on the second over Michael Reed. These two are also getting some good distance from Carter Lynn. So those 3 cars of Keith, Linz, and Gilbert, who were fairly even matched at the start of this race, are starting to fan out a little bit here.
As for position, this is 24th as the 10 of Kyle Stewart gets to the inside. Gets it on board with Grant Turner. And we have the pedal camera. Let's go ahead and put the eye on the foot camera. Watch the onboard. A little bit delayed here, so don't pay precise attention. But it does give you an idea of how much these drivers are dragging the brake, how much they're working the throttle back and forth here to get around.
On board here with Grant Turner, you can see how much he's going to be working those pedals through the corner. It's really a bouncing act, especially off of 2. You saw how much he was feathering that throttle, getting back to it off of turn 2. It's a tough place to really get that speed back up. And,
a little loose there.
He's dealing with a lot of dirty air in front of him, so I'm sure that's not helping. You see, that's Dakota Floyd, and I want to say Kyle Stewart just in front of him. Here goes Matt Robinson as well. Grant Turner right now, calm and collected, but certainly maybe having a little bit of issues getting that car to rotate.
When we look back up here, Carter Lenz battling with Michael Call. This is for the 4th position. Lenz a little off on this run. I think some of these drivers found that these tires are going to go a little bit further. We were talking about that in the stage, how you're experimenting, and maybe they liked the numbers that they got on pit road. Maybe they had a better percentage than what they thought they would. Of course, with the weather, it's pretty grippy out here, 75 degrees on the track temperature. It's going to continue to come down as the night progresses. Probably be around 70 degrees by the end of the race.
Yeah, and that's only going to make sure that those tires have a little bit longer of a lifespan as they run around this racetrack. So maybe people realizing they can change up their driving style just a little bit, or change their entry and exit points just a little bit. There's a lot that you can do as a driver to make subtle adjustments to the way you race that affects your tire wear. And I have a feeling we'll see a lot of these cars start to be a little bit more aggressive with it if it does be the case that the tire wear is not as bad as first anticipated, which is starting to feel like that might be the case with the way these cars are starting to fan out a little bit. Because you see Travis Gilbert really was going after it at the start of this run. And even on the 2-tire call, he's continuing to open up a bit of a gap here over Michael Reed, as Reed has gotten around Keith for second.
So Trevor Keith back to third position, 2 tires the call, 1.5 seconds. It is exploded for the lead. Biggest lead we've seen of the night. Battle for 11th. Grant Thorpe outside of Kyle Diaz, who just took a stab at it into 1 and 2. Will he complete this pass off of 4?
Thorpe to the high side. Diaz down low. The 26 is going to try to wrap that apron. See what he can do to take that spot away. Not going to be able to make the pass that time by, though. This is the battle for 11th on the racetrack. These guys just outside the top 10 trying to get some separation. Thorpe's got it for now, but he is by no means clear as he continues to run that middle lane. This battle, this is one of those battles that you get stuck in here at a short track that just infuriates you, I feel like, as a driver. Because you're not fighting for, like, the lead spot. You're just trying to get some track position, and you know that this is holding you both up. But you also don't want to just give up the spot, because then you start going the wrong direction. And it's just one of those things you just can't really win. As you see there, Thorpe had finally gotten control of it, but now here comes Justin Ritchie. Oh, and the caution's out.
Yellow with Nick Alves in the 24 out of 2. Nick Alves was up in 13th position to start this race, but has been falling back further and further. And now finally finds the outside wall on lap 57. Well, there he is sideways already. Let's back this up, see what happened.
It looks like, looks like tonight's title sponsor gave him a little bit of assistance getting up into the Kroger wall there. 21, Daniel Holloway right on board with him. You see he really drives it in here in the 1 and just tags the back bumper of Nick Alves. Up into the wall he goes. And this... did
you see who that was in the background there with nowhere to go?
No way. So yeah, you see there's the spin. Oh yeah, just had nowhere to go. Up into the wall, and a bad day gets worse for Kevin Orlando Jr.
Bob Rader stays out on the racetrack. We have a lot of drivers down pit road here, but this is where the race gets interesting. 2-tire call for Jeremy Burns, and this buries the 15 into 10th position. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Trevor Keith can put all the practice time he wants in, but it seems like these races switch the outcome. It's out of his control every week.
The one thing is he will be on 4 tires, and we keep saying that we think that might equalize out a little bit on a full run, but we have also not had that yet today. Longest run we've gotten at any given point, I believe, was that run right there. That was 25 laps in that stage. So just at a point where we were starting to expect there might be a slight change, but Rob Rader now in front, part of 6 cars who stayed out. Justin Ritchie, Alex Forget, Dakota Floyd, Kyle Stewart, and Matt Robinson, all electing to stay off of pit road this time around. So they can probably go about another 30 to 35 laps on fuel. Everyone else, though, stopped in for fuel, tires, and Travis Gilbert had to put on 4 tires that time after putting on 2 earlier. But I think a lot of cars took the 2-tire strategy that Travis Gilbert just proved a concept of a moment ago. Because I think there was 3 or 4 cars who all took 2 tires to get out in front of that group.
And this buries Travis Gilbert pretty deep in the field, as he had almost 48 seconds on his pit stop. Not exactly what you'd want to see there. 14.7 in the stall. So he took 4 this time, but he's all the way at the back of the field. Complete opposite of what he had.
Strategy of this race continues to flip-flop every time the yellow flies.
Precisely that. Rob Rader going to lead him into turn 1. Green flag is out. We're back underway at Richmond. And they're scattering in the middle. Look at the 15, 3 wide.
Right to the belly of the beast, 3 wide through the middle of this field. Everyone trying to get sorted out. They're back down the double file into 3, and the caution's already back out at the tail end of the field. Grant Thorpe around on the back straightaway.
Cautions, breeding cautions. We've seen it before. Racing Revolution, very clean this season, especially in the second half of the regular season. But this week, it's short tracks. And you were talking about how you get infuriated here at, well, I had problems even saying the word infuriated at Richmond, but I think that's just short track racing. At its core is you can't pass a guy without him constantly poking back, and 2-3 laps go by of you side by side. Eventually it wears down and you find the guy in an opportunity. So we'll back it up here on the replay.
You see, there's the 77 black and highlighter machine on the high side. And I think he may have had a bit of a shallow exit. The 14 poked his nose in there because he was alongside as the 77 was trying to come back up. Might have been at least what it looked like from that first angle. Take one more look.
I got a little loose too.
No, yeah, never mind. Ignore everything I just said. The 77, big time loose off of 2 and has to check up. The 14 has nowhere to go. On board with Grant Thorpe.
Just that little wiggle probably subtracted 5 miles per hour off of his exit speed. The 14 got there at the exact moment that Thorpe was catching the car. Didn't really change the strat, though. I mean, Pasha came out very quickly. Rob Rader going to hold on to the lead, and that means we'll take another opportunity here at Richmond Raceway for the Chapman Cup Series and V-Speed Racing Revolution. We'll be back here with the Cup Series action and the second race to the final regular season right after this.
Chapman's been around for 32, almost 33 years. It's a great company. We've built it from 10 people not all that long ago to 32 people today. We continue to grow. We're hiring people all the time. If there's one thing that I could do, like before my time is up at Chapman, it is making sure that we've built a company that will stand the test of time. And my goal as the current owner of the company, or one of the owners of the company, is to ensure that we can pass the ownership of the organization on to the next generation of people coming up the ranks today. So Chapman's been around for 32, almost 33 years. It's a great company. We've built it from 10 people not all that long ago to 32 people today. We continue to grow. We're hiring people all the time. If there's one thing that I could do, like before my time is up at Chapman, it is making sure that we've built a company that will stand the test of time. And my goal as the current owner of the company, or one of the owners of the company, is to ensure that we can pass the ownership of the organization on to the next generation of people coming up the ranks today. One area of our business where we impact the local communities pretty heavily is the school systems. So we work for school systems all over the northern part of the state of New Jersey. We operate their water systems, their wastewater systems. We do a lot of their permitting and compliance work, and we ensure that the water that the kids drink is clean. We go out and do the sampling to ensure that it's not contaminated. And we also treat the wastewater that's being generated at a lot of these facilities as well before it gets discharged to the environment. So we are supporting the local community through supporting the boards of education and the local school systems.
All About Bugs Tennessee Pest and Termite Control is all about family too. Our family-owned business has successfully been in operation in Sevierville and surrounding areas for almost a decade. Especially during these times, a pest-free home is necessary for a sustainable, disease-free home or business. Our services include residential, rental, commercial, hotel, motel, cabins, you name it. Free quotes and inspections for new customers, and most of our services are contract-free. Our All About Bugs Tennessee family is devoted to delivering the best possible pest control service with a friendly smile. Contact us at 865-453-5574 today.
If it's bugging you, you should be bugging us.
So Chapman's been around for 32, almost 33 years.
Welcome back here to our coverage at Richmond Raceway, second to last race of the regular season. There's a lot of R's in that sentence.
I was thinking that as well, especially when you consider this is Racing Revolution. You know, there's just real the Pirates' favorite race of the year. There's a lot of R.
Trevor Keith, that's not his favorite race, though. He just brought out the caution there a moment ago, and we got the replay while we were side by side, but Trevor Keith hammers the outside wall out of 2, and he did it all on his own. He got loose, overcorrects, and now has front end damage.
And we've been talking about it all night, that the exit of turn 2 is rather treacherous. We've seen it a couple times. That's the first one, though, where there's been like really significant damage, I think, coming off of that corner. They keep teasing it, getting worse and worse. A couple of near misses. Grant Thorpe then grazes the wall in there, and then Trevor Keith gets a good bit of it. As you see the track temp down another 3 degrees from where it was when we checked in earlier. Green flag back in the air. Rob Rader going to lead him into turn 1.
Rob Rader has a win this season, is locked into the playoffs, but it's been a little off this season for him. Not what he's used to. The 4-time champion has struggled in the most of these tracks here with DNFs and outside the top 10 for a lot of these weeks.
Yeah, it's been a really tough season for the 53. We have not really seen him up at the front of the field a ton, which, just given his history with this league, is rather surprising. But right now, on strategy, up there, running in front of Forget at the moment. We see things 3 wide behind him. Things are really fanning out here off of 4. Wow, look at that.
That is the 66 of Carter Lenz, who took the middle line. 55 of Richie trying to stab the throttle just now. It didn't work.
Nearly cost him big time, too. Slid back a couple spots, almost got tagged by Robinson. They're 3 wide again. Erhardt going all the way up the hill. Trevor Erhardt, that's a name we have not talked about a lot tonight. He took 2 tires on that last call. He's up from 26th to 10th now with that move, and he's looking for more as he's trying to get around Richie. That 41 going to graze the wall off of 2. It's a narrow exit, and people continue to play with fire. They're coming off that corner. Still 3 wide. Here we go,
Richie
man.
Needs to get out of this situation. He has been holding his line, but how long can you do it? He's had 4 or 5 different cars on the inside and outside. Finally, he's able to run his line.
It only took him about 3-4 laps and only cost him about 5-6 positions here. As you see Diaz poking to the inside. Justin Ritchie, when we started watching that 3-wide battle, was in this mix for about 8th or 9th, so he fell way down the running order. And it's just one of those things where, you know, typically we think about getting stuck in the middle of a 3-wide situation really bad at a drafting track, but that's really the case anywhere. And the yellow out again, further back in the field. Looks like Joe Joya has hammered the front end of that race car.
Was just about to talk about the pass for the lead. This is Joe Joya going sideways, I think.
Oh, right in front of the leader. There it is. The KSX Racing Graphics pit barrel cam.
One more time.
One more time indeed. Let's take a look here. These pit barrels doing a phenomenal job at slowing down the momentum of the 7. But for Joe Joya, man, that is a tough race. It starts here when he just absolutely hammered the wall. I don't even know if that car got slowed down.
Little Ross Chastain there into 1 and 2 and tries to bring it to pit road. And that's that.
Bang.
Right in front of the leaders, too. Wow.
Yeah, that's the thing. That was the first thing I saw in that first look. That that could have been really bad. As you were mentioning, there was a pass for the lead. It was Jeremy Burns who had just gotten around Rob Rader, and then that almost came to a screeching halt for both of them. But, you know, KSX Racing Graphics Pit Barrel Cam, for the first time officially this season, in use as the 7 hammers them, bringing out our 5th caution of the night.
So Jeremy Burns on a 2-tire call has found his way to the lead, but we're only about, what would you say that would divide to? About a third of this race? A little more than that?
A little more than that, about 40%.
3/5 maybe?
Yeah, about 2/5. We got 3/5 to go.
Jeremy Burns,
you know,
just, I mean, it's crazy to think how he finds a way every week. Even when he's not the fastest car in practice or qualifying, he's up here at the end.
And that's how you know he's putting together a really special season. Doesn't matter, you know, if you win all these races, it certainly helps. But finding a way to maximize every race you're in. You know, if you have a race-winning car, to win the race, but if you only have a car that's capable of, you know, a top 5 or a top 10, being sure to come home with that result is critical. And we've seen him do that basically every week this season. It's been a really, really surreal ride so far with the 9. He's been wicked fast. And to his outside, a championship rival from a year ago, reigning champ Rob Rader, who on significantly older tires here than Jeremy. So I have a feeling it'll be tough for him to keep pace here over the remainder of this run. I also don't know how much longer they can stay out. I want to say it's about another 15 to 20 laps or so with all these pacing laps. I'm trying to add in a little bit more on the side because we've been under yellow so much, but can't be too much longer.
I don't know if you just caught that, but the iRacing pace car needs a new tire on. Slam the apron to come down pit road, but that's okay. Jeremy Burns, Rob Rader, side by side. We're going to go 3 wide off of 2. In the middle, into the wall. That was
Michael Cole trying to fight his way out. Oh boy, there goes Forget. They're dooring each other into 3. I'm sure none of them are too happy with that except Michael Reed, who's going to capitalize, jump up to 3rd. Man, that was crazy.
Michael Reed benefited from that the most. He has fresher tires than these guys that he's passing right now. And Alex Forget is kind of in the same situation that Justin Ritchie was in a moment ago. They're using him up. They are 100% ready to go. They know the stint now. The math is there. Let's run this out as hard as we can. Come down pit road in about 30 to 40 laps and run this thing out to the end.
Yeah, the opportunity's there. The vision is clear for a lot of these guys. They're 3 wide behind them. Oh, man. Caleb Gilbert getting just barely past Trevor Erhardt. Nearly squeezed him into the wall off of 4. They were running out of room in a hurry. Travis Gilbert now in the middle of it. He's up to the high side against Murphy. This is the battle for 10th. Caleb Gilbert, another one of those drivers. He's above the cut line, but not by much. Same with Justice Murphy. So all of these positions are really critical for both the 12 and the 54 right now.
There's the telemetry with the 22. Remember, he was at the tail end of this field. He was back in 27th position just a couple cautions ago. So the fresh tires paying off so far. 86 laps into this race. Now on lap 87, trying to find a way around the 54 and find that top 10 again.
And knocking on the door. Right now running in 11th. All this happening here as we take a look. Michael Reed under pressure from Carter Linz for that 3rd spot. Linz with a good drive to the inside. He might be looking for more than just 3rd. He's to the inside of Rader. And here they go down the backstretch door to door, looking for that 2nd spot as they run. All of this is happening as Jeremy Burns starting to get some distance. Oh, sorry, this is the battle for 3rd. Michael Call is running 2nd. Apologies, I had my math wrong. That was the battle for 4th and then 3rd. So Michael Call currently runs 2nd, and then Burns a 2nd clear of them. I'm going to be rather embarrassed to say that Michael Call, I think his car just kind of blended into the track for me when I was watching this battle. Did not see him in that rather slick-looking black and neon number 89.
Yes, that Shield Chevrolet looks very sharp and looking very fast here on lap 90. Up to second, up 5 positions. And I think short tracks, if your name's Michael, you're going to do well here. Michael Reed also in that same kind of table. It's just when we go to Bristol.
Oh, Trevor Erhardt around.
Michael Bennett also involved, I think.
Both of them spinning through the front stretch grass, bringing out caution number 6 on the day. Trevor Erhardt, Michael Bennett. Those numbers inverses of each other. And they were both inverted to the way you're supposed to be running this racetrack. They were pointing back toward turn 4 after this collision.
Bennett just, I think, from that angle, it looked like Bennett came up too much.
Well, I think it starts with the 41 hitting the wall himself off of 4, and then coming back down the racetrack as the 14's trying to exit up at speed.
There you go. Yep.
And the two just met in the middle. 41 goes spinning. The 14 doesn't lose it, but has to go off-roading. And everybody is coming down pit road now, but we'll take another look at this replay. On board, Michael Bennett. He's had a tough night, too. He's had a couple of things kind of fall right in his lap already.
Yeah, he's probably expecting the 41 to have a good exit there and not actually be side by side. And so he was using all of the exit. Just didn't work out. And like you said, a lot of cars down pit road right now. Carter Lenz, Travis Gilbert, there's the 89 of Call down and away. Burns also down pit road. So Parker Johnston, Trevor Keith looking for track position back up to the top 5. Kevin Orlando also on a Hail Mary, and Grant Turner, Matt Robinson out there on 16 lap old tires. So a lot has changed again. Whatever you maybe thought was going to happen in this race, forget it. It's changed again.
And every time it seems like we start to have a handle on how the strategy is going to start to play out, a caution throws a real wrench into things, and then we're back to guessing how things are going to sort themselves out. That's been the case a couple times already tonight, and we're not even at the halfway mark yet, so I have a feeling that we're going to see that a few more times even after that.
I don't know if I agree with that, Alex. I mean, how many times have we said that, and then they turn around and run the race out green to the very end? It's so surreal.
What they don't know is I'm trying to jinx that in the happening, because I'm really curious to see what a full run on these tires look like. And anytime we've gotten to about a third, the halfway to what should be a run, there's a caution, and then we re-rack everything. Yep. So, little reverse psychology broadcaster jinx situation going on up here, hopefully at least. I don't know. This also might turn into a complete wreck fest for all I know.
I mean, the iRacing pace car could lead the most laps.
Is that a strong start to the day? It's probably led about 15 to 20 so far. I think Trevor Keith's led about 33, and I think he still might have the most.
There's Jacob Sirkovich coming back out on the racetrack. Parker Johnston will be the command car with Trevor Keith back on the high line. He's got a little bit of that damage fixed, but not all of it. You can still see the front end smashed up on the KSX pit barrel machine. Here we go for another green flag, and Parker Johnston into turn 1.
That was a pretty strong launch there for the 48. However, Trevor Keith did a really good job getting up through the gears. Slides right into the back bumper of the 48, and here they go into turn 3. Oh, and big wreck in the back of the field. Multiple cars around. Brandon Richardson amongst several others. Oh, man, heavy damage to the 8. And I think he was one of several cars who got totaled here. Caleb Gilbert goes around. Picklesheimer as well. Holloway with damage. Erhardt. Looks like John Fike may have got a piece of it too.
I believe the 9 was involved in this as well. He got loose on his own.
Yeah, he got loose on his own in front of this, but the 54 did something very similar, but was not as lucky to get away unscathed. I think that sky cam was a really good way to look at it and kind of see everything appear in one moment. So a lot of takers for pit road here. All cars who were caught up in that incident: Dylan Picklesheimer, Brandon Richardson, John Fike, Trevor Erhardt, amongst others.
And so this is the catch-22, is staying out on the racetrack there on that last one. Trevor Keith could probably come down pit road and repair his damage, but now he's up in the top 3 again. Do you really want to give away that track position? Parker Johnson says, yeah, I'm going to come down now.
And Trevor Keith now with the lead. So Parker Johnson pitting from the lead here. Will probably get credit for leading a couple laps under yellow and then about half a lap at speed, but now going to come down pit road. Curious to see if that was just a move to try to hit a certain number for the 48, although everyone in this field, even if they were to pit now, would still need to pit one more time. So Trevor Keith, Grant Turner in your front row. 2 paint schemes that really reflect the lights nicely here at Richmond Raceway. Kevin Orlando Jr., Michael Call will be your second row as they run. Then Matt Robinson and Tyler Harrison, I believe, will make up that third row. Although I don't think we've hit the choose yet, so that might shuffle slightly.
This is the other part that we haven't really touched on. They do choose cones in this league. We haven't talked about that quite a while, Alex. So, remind all the viewers at home, this is very similar to real life Cup Series where each row gets to choose and they have to commit which side they're going to go to.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the lap before they go green, you either get to pick if you want to restart on the inside or the outside row. It creates a little bit more strategy, a little bit more options for where you want to line up. You could be lining up in the optimal lane, but maybe a little further back if everyone's taking it, or you can take your chances gaining some track position but restarting in the lane that'll be harder to defend. Adds a little extra wrinkle into the strategy here, and pace car going to peel away. You see how they've lined up. Trevor Keith, the control car from the outside lane. And here we go, just across the halfway mark here at Richmond Raceway.
And man, is it chaos going into turns 1 and 2.
Justice Murphy got spun. He saved it. But boy, did that check up the entire back half of the field. Oh, and now the yellow's out for someone else further back. John Fike's around.
Just trying to catch it. I thought it was the 11 Robinson, but green and white cars confusing me there. It was chaos going into 1. Watch this.
Yeah, everything gets stacked up because Justice Murphy nearly gets turned going into turn 1. And that accordions all the way back into the 65 getting turned. You see right there, Justice Murphy, that black and red car to the outside, a little bit of contact with Michael Reed. Big save, but everyone scurrying to avoid it. And then John Fike, that car just, gassing up on the apron. Gonna loop that car around 9 times out of 10.
Trevor Keith kind of loving what he sees right now, but this is one of those where guys behind could throw another Hail Mary or make that 2-tire call. It's just a situation is continuously changing here from Richmond, but don't go anywhere. We have more coverage of the Chapman Cup Series. We're going to take you side by side under caution here on V-Speed.
Chapman's been around for 32, almost 33 years. It's a great company. We've built it from 10 people not all that long ago to 32 people today. We continue to grow. We're hiring people all the time. If there's one thing that I could do, like before my time is up at Chapman, it is making sure that we've built a company that will stand the test of time. And my goal as the current owner of the company, or one of the owners of the company, is to ensure that we can pass the ownership of the organization on to the next generation of people coming up the ranks today. One area of our business where we impact the local communities pretty heavily is the school systems. So we work for school systems all over the northern part of the state of New Jersey. We operate their water systems, their wastewater systems. We do a lot of their permitting and compliance work, and we ensure that the water that the kids drink is clean. We go out and do the sampling to ensure that it's not contaminated. And we also treat the wastewater that's being generated at a lot of these facilities as well before it gets discharged to the environment. So we are supporting the local community through supporting the boards of education and the local school systems.
All about
Live back here at Richmond, Trevor Keith back up front, your stage 1 winner as we go back underway. Here's Tyler Harrison with a great restart. He's going to be all over the back bumper, and they're going to go 3 wide again with the 58. Excuse me, that's Rob Rader, the 53.
And they're still trying to get this thing sorted out down the back straightaway. 3 wide again into turn 3. Oh, Bennett's big slide.
What a save. He slid up 3 lanes.
He slid up 3 lanes, hit nobody, and kept it off the wall. Unbelievable work there from Michael Bennett. Boy, that was unreal how he was able to keep that off the wall and off of any other car.
Oh,
big wreck in front. Carter Linz T-boned. Kyle Stort's around, Diaz, Rob Rader. This is all in the top 10, a lot of these guys. Huge wreck.
It's falling apart here at the end of the regular season. That's going to put the caution count to 10.
Yeah, the plague of yellow fever has really struck here about in the past 40 or 50 laps. We only needed about 2 in the opening 40 or 55 to 60 laps, and then we've had about another 7 since. Let's see if we can take a look here and see what happened. I mean, there was a lot of cars caught up in this one. We were just checking that big save from Bennett, so we were just behind the action, but here we go. Linz, Stewart, Bennett, all cars who were part of this. Starts there with that contact with Stewart and Linz, and then everyone just jackknifes in the way of oncoming traffic. Not much you can do about it, but boy, that adds to the cars caught up in this one exponentially.
I'm just curious if Linz was loose here or if he had help. I think he had a lot of help.
Yeah, it certainly seems like it. And into the wrong way. Hard hit from Parker Johnston. Man, that really, really heavy contact on the driver's side door. Trevor Erhardt, John Fike gets caught up in another incident here tonight. Rader, of course, goes around. Diaz.
The chaos continues at Richmond.
It certainly does. Man, I think my hope of jinxing them into a long green flag run, that may not have worked.
So then now I got to ask you, you've got a damaged 15 car that won stage 1.
Yep.
He's leading a lot of this race. If it continues in the trend, some of these guys might not have to come to pit road. That's, like
yeah.
that is a realistic thing that could happen here.
I mean, if they continue to bring out yellows as fast as they are, their fuel counters will gain a lot of laps back. I don't know about an additional like 20 or so, but it would certainly get them a hell of a lot closer.
Yeah.
So honestly, I laugh at first because it seems preposterous, but then I start really doing the math, and I'm like, you might be onto something here if they're gonna keep wrecking every like lap and a half. That really seems to have been the case so far. All of this, though, I think right now, if you're Trevor Keith, you're already kind of off cycle from a lot of the cars next to you. This is just a situation of try to get to wherever your window is and then bring it out pit road. I don't know how much you can be worried about the rest of the field at this point, even with how much they've been wrecking.
Trevor Keith going to be the command car again. Tyler Harrison had an excellent jump that last time. But will he get it again? Dakota Floyd just behind the 15. Here we go. Green flag back underway at Richmond. Uh-oh, Lynn's already to the inside. Come on, boys.
Trying to get this one sorted out for 1 and 2.
Yeah, we got to coach him up here in the booth at this point. I know that there's a lot of positions up for grabs, but it doesn't do you much good to try to take it if you're under caution every single lap. Look at this again here, 53 all over Thorpe.
Yeah, he certainly got a piece of him there going into the corner. See the 53 already damaged from that last incident. Parker Johnson, another car who was caught up in that. All of these cars we know are pretty quick tonight. Just a matter of trying to keep them in one piece has been a different story. Still a lot of too wide as they're running through this corner here. And now that we're actually starting to log, a green flag lap or two, we're starting to see where people are going to slot in. And right now, Trevor Keith with a decent advantage, half-second lead over Harrison. This battle here, take a look at this. That's Michael Bennett. With the day that he's had, he's worked his way up to 9th. That's been just a miraculous turn of events here for the 14 if he's able to continue this progress. Oh, Jeremy Burns around. And Justice Murphy hard into the wall. Caution's out once again. They got all wadded up coming off of turn 2. It's been a trouble spot all night long. And it just bit the 9 and the 12 machines right there. For Justice Murphy, that could be a real concern. He hit that wall really hard.
.39 of Grant Turner was on the outside of this. The 12 gave a lot more room than he probably needed to off of 2. And Burns, who took it 3 wide. We'll back this up on our blimp camera, but watch here. There's a lot of room to the outside for the 12 of Murphy, and he just crowded the 9, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think part of it might be, we've seen that middle lane be really tricky when you're running side by side tonight coming off of turn 2. Maybe that's something that Murphy was aware of and trying not to go through that spot that kept getting people out of sorts. But when you're running 3 wide, you don't necessarily have that luxury. You see, there's the 9 of Burns into the wall. 12 really hammered the front end of that car. And just when they start getting going again, a couple more cars, and in that case, both of them rather quick cars getting caught up in that one. And that seems to be the theme that we're running into a little bit more and more. I mean, I tell you what, for all the troubles he's had tonight, check out the driver sitting in 6th right now. And that is Kevin Orlando Jr., who has cycled through most of this field despite a couple of early cautions. And this is probably the best case scenario for the 27 after the way this race started.
He's had plenty of time to repair that car from where that
certainly has.
Yeah, that race started. He's still got a little bit of right front damage. But again, at Richmond, aerodynamics not much of a factor. It's mainly keeping the chassis and the suspension intact. As long as you can do that, you could have the fenders missing. I think you could still finish in the top 10, and Kevin Orlando has pretty much proved that.
He certainly has. As the laps continue to tick away under caution here, near and about the 3/5 mark of this one. Will be 80 to go about when they restart this race. Trevor Keith has led 54 of them. He led the opening 33 before the stage, and then has led about another 20 here, mostly under pacing. So a lot of damage that 15 will try to need to repair at some point. But if they keep doing what they're doing, I don't know how much it's going to really matter.
Well, the other factor with track position, if we dwindle a lot of this race away under caution, Trevor Keith might not have the opportunity to come down pit road the same way and repair that damage. He might have to just take 4 tires and get out as fast as possible. We'll see.
We will certainly see as the pace car has peeled off. Here we go. The 45 had a little bit of trouble getting going there.
Rewind again. Rob Rader to the inside. And in the middle, Stewart backs out of it. And it's Jocelyn back here for 15th on back. Then you have Travis Gilbert working his way on a little bit fresher tires earlier. Gilbert tried his 2-tire strategy again here for the remainder of this race.
Currently running in that 10th position, trying to get along and pass John Fike. Cars bouncing in and out here, trying to find their way through this top 10. Looking to the outside of Robinson off of 4. He's got a little bit of work to do to get alongside him. And the yellow's out for the 12th time now. There goes Daniel Holloway through the infield. And just when it seems like Trevor Keith's going to come under fire from Tyler Harrison on those fresher tires, caution comes back out again. Holloway going for an excursion through the infield that time.
Trying to stab the brakes. Watch it one more time for the blimp camera. He got loose on his own.
That has certainly been a theme tonight. Yeah, just lost it. And then got a little bit of extra help from Justice Murphy, but by that point, the 21 was already basically around.
Yeah. Well, how
These
do
are
we
the
look?
kind.
Well, I was going to say, Alex, how do we look to find our entertainment? Do we bring a driver up here? Find the most entertaining driver you can think of. Let's bring him up.
Let's see. Who should we talk to? Let's try to talk to someone we haven't talked to in a minute. How about the 89 of Michael Call? I feel like we haven't talked to him in a little bit.
All right.
The lightning fast motorsports driver.
Just a moment. There we go.
There we go.
Michael Collins, Bradley Cooper, Alex Gagnon in the broadcast booth. Do you got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Well, Michael, it's us trying to entertain ourselves at this point. It's a lot of cautions here. You've been solid in the top 5 for a lot of this race, though. How do you bring it home?
It's going to get really tricky here. We're getting pretty close to being able to make it on one more stop. So definitely going to be some strategy calls on tires. I haven't taken 4 since the stage. But yeah, I don't know. It's been, when the racing goes green, it's been really fun. We're struggling a little bit here, but that's just product of the racetrack. It's difficult around here.
Yes, it has been difficult, and I gotta say, the temper's flaring out there. How much race chatter are you hearing amongst the drivers?
You know, there is some race chatter, but it's clean. There's no yelling back and forth or anything. It's just kind of like, man, what the heck? No vulgar language. So it's been good. Everybody, I think, knows it's just kind of par for the course here with this car and the racetrack, and 2 races left to go in the playoffs, and you got a lot of guys up front right now that need a win. So it's going to get a little crazy here.
Well, Michael, good luck out there. I see you doubling back up. Anybody want to shout out real quick before we go back green?
All of TK, Justice, Tyler, everybody that's been helping me late here in the season. It's definitely, the 89's picked up speed because of those guys, and I appreciate them.
Lightning fast motorsports driver Michael Call. Going to restart here on the outside of road number 2. Good luck.
Thank you.
Well, I
See
don't know
how he does here. Yeah, we'll see how he does lining up on the outside of row 2. Tyler Harrison going to give it another crack on the inside, going to try to get around Trevor Keith. That pace car peels away. Oh man, the 45. Jump. All types is checked up again. Trevor Keith just sails into the lead. Michael Call going to follow him in the second. And then 2 wide all the way back through the field as they start jockeying for position once again. And there's been enough cautions. Yeah, here we go. There's been enough cautions tonight where it's like cars that we've even seen have pretty substantial damage are now cycling back to the front as another car parading through the infield. That's another yellow on the racetrack. I want to say that might have been John Fike.
More issues continue here at Richmond for the same names over and over tonight. John Fike Into 3 and 4. Not sure if he had help. Loses it again. Sideways. Nobody hits him. But it's enough to trigger another caution here on lap 129.
You know what I find really fascinating? The past couple cars that we've really seen get loose has been out of 4. We haven't really seen that at all tonight until the past couple of cautions. You know, see, the track temp hasn't changed a ton. Still pretty cool, though. I wonder if there's just something that's changed with the way the track is rubbered in or something, where the exit of 4 now is starting to get a little more treacherous, because similar deal to what we saw earlier coming out of turn 2. If you're the inside car of 2, trying to come off the corner, it is so easy to over-throttle it and lose the back end. And we've seen that a number of times this evening. Yeah, it's just one of those things. That's very much been kind of the theme of the race, I would say, more so than any of the actual racing action, in my opinion.
Trevor Keith, Michael Call, Michael Reed. Tyler Harrison falls back to 4th on that restart. Dakota Floyd, Kevin Orlando, the cars that you mentioned had a lot of damage within, of course, the 15, still has some of that. Then you have Michael Bennett and also Caleb Gilbert, Nick Alves. Some of these guys, like you said, that were, you know, had we not had this plague of cautions, probably wouldn't even be a factor for the top 10. The cars were pretty beat up, and now they find themselves on that kind of flip strategy. You also have some of these guys on different stints, so I think some of these guys are riding this out as long as they can to see if another caution or two comes out, like Michael Call was mentioning earlier. All these guys are going to come down pit road on that right number, you know, where they can make it on fuel guaranteed if it goes green regardless. I think that you're going to see Trevor Keith choose 4 tires over repairing damage, and you're going to see a lot of these cars that are up in this top 10 take a gamble with 2. I think someone's going to do it.
I think we'll actually see quite a few cars take 2, if anything has been any. I mean, Michael Call said he hasn't taken 4 tires since the stage, and he's continuing the run up and now the 2nd position.
Yeah.
Clearly, it's a viable option, especially if you're not going to be absolutely torching him. All the start and stop really helping for that, I think. I think we'll see a lot of cars take 2. It's a matter of who's positioned themselves to take 2 tires on their final stop versus those who have to take 4. Like Michael Call, I would think, has to take 4, which could put him back in traffic a little bit. But some of the folks may have took 4 the last time around. They could take 2, and then they're really in prime position here. But that's also dependent on when they decide to come down pit road. To Michael Call's point from when we talked to him a moment ago, they are inching ever so closer to that number. It's about 138 to 140, I think, would be the range.
Back underway, 133. And a big jump here for Trevor Keith, and there comes Tyler Harrison again. A better restart as we're 3 wide for the 5th position. There's Justin Ritchie back into the mix. Remember, he was falling 3 wide through this field. Now he's up to 7.
And he's looking for more here. He's trying to get around Matt Robinson. Going to go down way close. The back bumper now of the 11. Robinson was clear for a moment, not able to capitalize and close the gap, though. As here they go. That's actually a little bit of side-by-side action for second. Harrison going to have that spot over Michael Call. Robinson now taking a peek to the inside of Orlando Jr., trying to see if he can wrestle away that 6th position.
There's a 22 there off of turn 2. Brushed the wall there briefly. Travis Gilbert has been trying to get back up here in the top 5, but every time the strategy has changed. Now, if you're the 22, you have much fresher tires in this field, and if you can stay out of harm's way, you can very easily end up with the race lead.
Easier said than done, though, with the way the past 100 laps or so, or about past 70 laps or so have gone. You see Gilbert taking a look to the outside of Thorpe, trying to make something happen. Grant Turner in that middle lane as well. Oh, 77 got a little out of sorts there off of 2. He was able to hold on to it. He's under a lot of pressure, though, right now. Travis Gilbert filling up that mirror. I think he almost thought about making it 3 wide there for a moment.
He's thought about it a couple times, I think. He's looking again.
He's just trying to find his way on through. He's been, oh man. Oh boy, into the wall. It was Thorpe hard into Grant Turner. Don't know if he got loose or he had help, but the 77 up the track hammered Grant Turner, sandwiched him into the outside retaining wall. Oh, and now the yellow's out because someone else is around. Oh, and Diaz. Multiple wrecks are happening right now. Kyle Stewart, John Fike, Kyle Diaz. Another car went spinning through the infield. Might have been Jeremy Burns. Or it was Caleb Gilbert. It was one of the red and white ones. Let's take another look.
I'm not really sure where this begins.
It's something coming off of turn 4. That much I know. With who, I do not know. It was just some car that was spinning. Maybe it was Justice Murphy?
Ruthann McGeorge. No, it's actually the 9 just.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Well, Caleb Gilbert is around. Okay, so I was right the first time. Caleb Gilbert was sideways on the infield. What happened to the 54? 'Cause this is way up in front.
It's the oil slick that Ruthann was talking about.
Yeah, certainly seems to be the case. Bit Kyle Stewart, bit Caleb Gilbert, and then there's another wreck as they're trying to get slowed down. Kyle Diaz and John Fike go around. And this is, the yellow is out when the point of contact happens here, because the wreck is just in front of this. Yeah, you can see them there. And Diaz tries to get in slow up, and Fike just bowls into both him and Brandon Richardson. So what was a 2-car incident becomes a 5-car incident here on caution 14 of the night. I'm starting to lose track.
You got it.
Yeah, there it is.
How many tally marks you got worn into that desk at this point?
Right now we're about to start cutting through to the other side, so I might need to putty it back up to keep cutting.
It's been a rough day, and if
It
you're the
certainly
15,
has.
I think they found the window here for a lot of these cars because they just poured down pit road from first back. Jeremy Burns stays out here. He's 12 laps on the stint. Dylan Picklesheimer 11 laps on the stint. Alex Forget, Rob Rader, Travis Gilbert as the oldest, and then John Fike there. I'm not sure if Fike will receive any penalties or anything for that, but oh man, it is so much to unpack. We've flipped this strategy several times, but I think from 7th position on back can make it to the end of this race now, guaranteed.
Yes, I feel pretty confident in saying that. We were told to expect the fuel window to be about 60 to 65 if you're really pushing it laps. So these guys under pace now. When they go green, it'll probably be about 55 to the end. They should be in good shape even if it was green the whole way. The 6 cars who are still up here, though, that's where things get a little more interesting. I believe they'll still need to stop. Travis Gilbert, Rob Rader, Alex Forget, Dylan Picklesheimer, John Fike, and Jeremy Burns. And there's several of those cars in that top 6 that I just said that I look at and go, it is wild that that car is still running with the amount of things that they've bounced off of tonight. I could say that with about 4 of those different cars in that top 6.
Yeah, Burns has been involved in a lot. Rader's been involved in a couple. Yeah, the 19 who got used up a lot. But Travis Gilbert finds his way back up front. 19 laps on the stint. 2-tire call, but now 4 tires on this machine. We're back underway.
Nice launch there for the 22. Forget doing a nice job following him through. He'll be looking to take second away from Rader here down the back straightaway. Don't think he'll be able to do it just yet. He's got some pretty significant front-end damage. They'll remain side by side as the laps will now begin to tick away at pace. Travis Gilbert trying to get some separation as cars are all sorts of stacked up behind him. Look at this, 2x2x2.
That's your stage 1 winner trying to get around these guys, make quick work of it. He's going to go 3 wide, moves Fike up the racetrack.
A little bump and run action from Trevor Keith, moving the 65 out of the way. Not sure how Fike's going to feel about that. Trevor Keith, I think he's realizing now is go time if he's trying to get back up to the front. Capitalizes on that mistake from Harrison. Orlando will as well. Boy, it is getting physical. It's crazy for a race with 14 cautions that this is the point where it really feels like it's starting to get physical out there.
Yeah, I think a lot of these cautions have just been self-spins and bad scenarios for the guys to get caught up in those. But man, oh man, is the 15 all over Jeremy Burns. Watching this run back to the front. He's got all the damage repaired. Look at the front of that 15. That's the first time since about the end of stage 1 that we've seen it clean.
Yeah, and I think it's starting to pay some dividends, that and the fresh tires, because he's looking wicked fast right now. Just cleared the 9. He's now up to 5th, looking for more. Tell you what, Travis Gilbert, though, to his credit with that clean air, that car has set sail, and that is very much the case when he took the lead at the start of stage 2. When that car gets clean air, it is wicked fast.
And I want to venture to say that Rob Rayner might have took fuel only on that last stop. He was only in the box for 5.5 seconds, so maybe just fill up on the tank and run this thing out.
It would make it to the end of the race. I do not know what that would do to the tires, but he's got the track position, and right now looking pretty good, running P2. Forget washes up a little bit there. Keith will move up to 4th. Just keeping an eye on this top 10. A couple of other movers here. Michael Reed's in that mix as well. We take a look at the onboard with Trevor Keith, and yeah, that's someone who's on the hunt right now.
Yeah.
Oh, and the yellow's out for number 15. Give it up for number 15.
This is
a war of attrition.
Yeah,
in the nicest way possible.
I don't even know where to look here.
The damage to Carter Lynn suggests that he might be the one to take a look at here. That front end does not look particularly well. But maybe not that. There's something further up here. Oh, Kevin Orlando Jr. sideways on the front straight. He was running 6th. He was just behind what we were watching here. Oh, yeah, it gets some help from the 91.
Watch this one more time from our blimp camera. I think this is going to do it more justice. Watch here, 91 on the inside, 27.
I guess you could make the argument that Reed was thinking Orlando might go up a little closer to that wall, but even so, that would have been cutting the line razor thin. Kevin Orlando Jr. started this race in the back, made some progress, got in a wreck, made some progress, got in a wreck, made a bunch of progress, was running in the top 5, and now has gotten in another wreck. It's been the story of the day for the 27, and in a race where every point matters with where he's sitting on the cut line right now, this has got to just be absolutely maddening.
And what's changed here is a lot of these guys have been taking 2 tires all night. I think some of these guys are out of tire sets. I think I genuinely believe that some of these guys are out of tire sets, so they only have left sides to go on these cars. And I don't think that it's worth the stop and loss of position to do that. I mean, obviously, left sides are also going to
throw. Yeah, it's also going to throw the balance of the race car off if the right sides are wearing out in any capacity, because all of a sudden you're going to have so much more grip on the inside bit versus the side you're pushing into the corner with. Yeah, if that is the case, that's going to put some drivers in a real predicament, especially if this keeps up, because, you know, restarts have been the name of the game tonight, and if you're not on tires that can do those effectively, you might be really kind of up the creek here.
Again, shout out to everyone that has been in the chat.
Yeah, no, y'all have been awesome, man.
Yeah, sticking this one out. It's been a rough one here. Trevor Keith, stage 1 winner, 15 cautions. I don't think we're done yet. And we've got different strategies all across this track with 2 tire calls, no tire calls. different laps on tires entirely. And you're looking at, must-win situations for a lot of these guys that are throwing Hail Marys. Here we go. Lap 156. Just over 40 laps left from Richmond. A dive to the inside by Rob Rader. Look at that.
That's ambitious. They're leaning on each other.
And here comes Trevor Keith into the picture as well.
Oh, it's about to get 3 wide if either of Picklesheimer or Keith have anything to say about it. That was an aggressive move from Rob Rader, getting down to the inside of Travis Gilbert. And look at how stacked up the front runners are right now. It's like they're just about to do the restart now.
Rader has the lead right now. And even with the front end damage, that car fast enough to take the top spot. Here comes Keith to the inside of Picklesheimer.
That's that battle for third just behind the leaders. Trevor Keith to the inside, Dylan Picklesheimer up high. Really duking it out for the final step of the podium as they run right now. 15 washes up the hill. Here comes Michael Reed to the inside, 3 wide down the front straightaway.
And defense played there by Trevor Keith to keep that 91 at bay. A stab at the lead. Travis Gilbert pokes the left rear.
Oh, it looks
do it
like
again.
Hank Hill getting the run for his life in right now, trying to hold on to the race lead. Oh, Gilbert's going to be there. Might move him. Oh, he's backed out of it. He had a nose to the inside corner for just a moment. I wonder how many times he'll do that before he starts trying to shuffle that 53 out of the way.
He's allowing Rob Rader that inside late apex, but it's giving him dirty air. And the more that he does that, Trevor Keith is catching up to him.
Yeah, Trevor Keith, now that he's cleared Michael Call, actually, now that I'm looking at it, Dylan Picklesheimer has completely dropped from the top 10. I'm not sure what's happened to the 35, but he's down in the 15th position. He lost a ton of spots. Oh, looks like he may have had a little bit of help from Trevor Keith. The 15, I think, moved him out of the way. It looked like he washed up the track real bad there in 3 and 4.
I do believe there was contact.
Oh, yeah. Certainly was.
Picklesheimer back to 15th. Travis Gilbert around.
Oh, Travis Gilbert around. He was running up in that lead group. He was taking a look for the lead from Rob Rader. What has happened to the 22? Caution 16, and it comes in a battle for the race lead.
Is this another car that maybe got moved?
Oh, yeah, he got to the back bumper of Rader as Keith got to the back bumper of him. And both of those collisions happened basically simultaneously. Gets the 22 all out of sorts. Look at this. Yeah, just triple bit of collision there and then down to the apron. I think that's what officially, well, it gets the 22 spun. Was getting down on the apron, but he got hit from ahead and behind basically at the same moment there through the middle of the corner.
Let's watch it one more time in slow motion. We don't do that very often here on V-Speed, so let's slow it down just a little bit here into 1 and 2, and you're going to see the 22 hit the back of the 53. Simultaneously, the 15 is right on the back end. It's going to happen as a domino effect.
Yeah, less than a blink of an eye, really, between those two bits of collision, the 22 down to the apron. And, you know, he's still trying to throttle up from getting off the corner, but now all of a sudden he's on the apron, and that's a recipe that we've seen already tonight, not going to work well.
Gilbert came down pit road after that spin. 9.5 in the box, which leads me to believe he did something on one half of this car. So if he had that last set, he just burned it.
So a fresh set of right sides here with just over 30 laps to go when they go green. Could be a good recipe to cut your way back through the field. We were joking earlier that this race has very much been a war of attrition, and if Rob Rader finds a way to hold on to this thing, his car would certainly signify exactly what kind of race it's been with how heavy the front end damage is there.
Alex, I mean, we called it that, but if you look, we only have one car behind the wall and another car on pit road right now. And
yeah,
there's 28 of them. Yeah, it's 28 cars still out here, and they stand to get their lap back. Michael Bennett and Jacob Sirkovich could be free pass cars. We still have plenty of laps to do that.
It's a weird balance because basically everyone's still in this race, but you also look at everyone's race car, and it's hard to find people who have had no incidents on the racetrack tonight.
Yeah.
Feels like everyone's been caught up in at least one thing, maybe more.
Yeah, incident counts for a lot of these guys over 10 to 12, about the average. And Trevor Keith, Rob Rader are going to be side by side. Keith not showing any give in this one. He wants this victory. He's going to get used here by the 89 on this restart, but it's a good shove, and here we go into one. To the outside. Yep. Trevor Keith could take the lead back right here.
Call gave him a really good push on that restart. They were door-to-door through 1 and 2. Trevor Keith going to be able to stay there in 3 and 4. He'll wash up the track a little bit, though. We've seen the 15 do that a couple times lately in 3 and 4. So Rob Rader going to hold on to the lead for now as the 15 just drives it in really deep there in the 1 and 2. This is about to be a battle, I have a feeling, between these two.
Here comes Michael Reed to throw it in. This is a wrench in the whole thing.
Here we go. A nice move from the 91. He'll take a peek to the inside. He might even clear Trevor Keith here, right to the back bumper of Rob Rader. Michael Reed, a good bit of speed here since that restart.
These guys driving hard for these last 30 laps from Richmond. Deeper in the field, Travis Gilbert trying to get back to the front after the contact there with Trevor Keith. He's going to go through the middle with a teammate. That's a lot of team drivers there, a lot of friends.
Yeah.
Try not to get into them.
Seems to be working for him so far. He is driving like a man on a mission. Speaking of a man on a mission, here comes Michael Reed taking a look to the back bumper of Rader once again. At 91 has showed good speed all night, but it looks to be at its fastest now when the race matters most.
Isn't enough though. Rader has impressed me with his ability to defend, and he's just taking their lines away. He has much older tires than these guys in front and beside. Reed's going to get to the outside. Keith couldn't do it a moment ago. Rader's going to do it again off of 4.
Oh, he clipped the wall a little bit. Michael Reed came into tonight 24th in points. Should he find a way to take the lead and pick up this win, it'd be monumental for the playoff picture with only 2 races, actually 1 race left after this. Michael Reed to the outside, looking to make it happen off of turn 4. Just cannot quite get clear. Rob Rader's side drafting him for all he's worth.
And almost washes up the track. This should clear it for Reed. No, it doesn't. What a stab.
That's the reason he's a 4-time champ right there. What a move, even on the old tires. Might have to finally relent here for a moment with that damage, but boy, Rob Rader put up a hell of a fight. But Michael Reed now to the point with 25 to go. This is gonna get wild.
Rader back there with Michael Call. Trevor Keith back to 4th. We were talking earlier about those drivers on the edge of that cutoff mark. Car around 19.
Forget's around. Alex Forget sliding into the grass. And the flagman for the first time today is elected to keep the flags away. We stay green.
Now we have side by side for second. While that's happening, we might look 3 wide here.
Michael Call not giving an inch right now to Rob Rader on that front stretch. Rader doing the same thing back in the corners. Call, though, going to force his way past.
This track has changed so much. Rader's going to get loose off of 4. Keith's going to get a good run. This is for third now. But this is the part of the racetrack that was treacherous earlier, bottom of 2.
It's worth highlighting as well. Michael Call now running second. Also a driver well below that cut line. Came into tonight 20th. The top 2 cars right now, 24th and 20th. A win for either of them would be absolutely massive. Not to mention Trevor Keith here trying to pry third away from Rob Rader. This would be really difficult for Keith. If one of those 2 cars go on the win, it would make it that much harder to make the postseason. So much on the line right now for these cars in the top 5.
And Keith just not able to get around Rob Rader. Meanwhile, you look back here, it's our friend Kevin Orlando Jr. back into the top 10, but he's got his hands full.
That he does. 3 wide, Kyle Stewart, Travis Gilbert, Smoth popping up behind him. Gilbert now to the inside as Thorpe and Burns are dueling for 7th. Gloves are off and everyone's just throwing haymakers right now, trying to get every spot they can in the closing laps.
I would say that Jeremy Burns is just trying to survive to the end of this thing. Car in the wall.
Thorpe car in the wall. Really got a piece of it there off of 2.
Comes Picklesheimer back into the top 10 as well. Car in the wall, though, that was the 35. So much happening here with Michael Reed starting to pull away half a second and growing. Rob Rader back in 3rd. Trevor Keith has fallen back to 6th.
Yeah, Dakota Floyd and Tyler Harrison have gotten on by here. Keith falls back to 6th. Starting to get a little too far away to make that lunge to the end. As everything's starting to get stacked up behind the 53. Rader trying to hold on to the best finish he can here. A lot of cars having trouble getting by him as now Gilbert looks to the inside of Keith for 6th. These 2 cars combined have led by far the most laps tonight. Doesn't look like either of them are going to head the victory lane with the way this is progressing.
Who would have thought, though, we would run these last 30 laps possibly under green all the way. It's not over yet. Dakota Floyd taking a stab for 3rd now. Could be another podium finish here for the 57. He came up close there a week ago at the Glen. We were gifted a really good finish there.
Yeah, we absolutely were. So take a look at this. That is the battle for 3rd. Dakota Floyd's got it for now. Travis Gilbert trying to get across. Rob Rader for 4th. A lot of action happening in the back half of the top 10 right now. That's Orlando Jr. and Picklesheimer battling it out for the 10th position.
Oh, and 27 of Orlando got into the back of Picklesheimer just now.
That he did.
It's quieted down a little bit here, but for Michael Reed, it's as loud as it's been all night long. Started in the 4th position, fell out of the top 10, had some damage, got involved in a few wrecks here tonight, but I guess who hasn't in the list of drivers that have been in the lead or been in this top 10? Just under a second lead with 10 to go. He wants this race to stay green. Michael Call would love for it to stay there as well. Travis Gilbert trying to clear for 3rd. Actually, he has cleared for 3rd. It was Dakota Floyd trying to take it away a moment ago. But now the 22 might chase him down. We still have a little bit of time, but I don't think he's going to catch up to Reed. He can catch Call. I don't think he catches up to the 91.
We'll find out with 10 to go. Does anybody have something in the tank for Michael Reed? Michael Reed has a couple of podiums so far this season. He finished third back at Homestead in March and had a runner-up finish at Dover a few weeks ago for his best result of the season to date. But a win today could be absolutely huge, could catapult him into that playoff picture if the 91's able to hold on for the next 8 laps. Meanwhile, Michael Call's got company. Travis Gilbert on the scene looking to take second place away.
So this is the question. Was I wrong? I knew he would catch up to Call, but I don't think Gilbert has enough here. That's 1.2 seconds in 6 laps. I don't know.
Laps here, not a long time, but man, that 22 is flying right now. We'll see if he's got anything left in the tank here. Reed, though, trying to open up that gap a little bit more. It'll be 6 to go next time by. You see about a 10th quicker last time for Travis Gilbert. He'll need to be faster than that to reel in Michael Reed.
Yeah, at that rate, he needs about 0.2 a lap. That time, a little bit faster.
I think he got about 0.2 that time around.
He can do it. Reed's going to defend,
catching a guy is one thing, though. I'm about to say, yeah, catching a guy's one thing. Passing them's another. As you see, Gilbert clips the wall off of 2. Michael Reed just needs to lock in and run some of the best laps he's run all season here to try to hit victory lane for the first time this year. Meanwhile, look at this absolute mess happening behind him. This is for 6th and 7th. Rob Rader, Grant Thorpe, Kevin Orlando, add Nick Alves into the mix as well. This is back through the top 10. It is getting dicey. Everyone fighting for those last couple of points that they can.
You need every single one of them if you're Trevor Keith, because now it's looking like we're going to add another winner, and that would eliminate the 15 from playoff contention. It would put him down even more.
The wall again. Yeah, he was already 1 spot out looking in, then he'd be 2 spots out looking in. That is not the place you want to be with only 1 race to go. Speaking of to go, we got 3 laps left. The gap 0.6 of a second. Gilbert might get there. He is closing in. Michael Reed trying to hold on to.
Not looking good if you're a Michael Reed fan right now. Half a second's going to separate him with 2 to go.
This is going to get wild. 2 laps left from Richmond Raceway. Michael Reed down to the bottom of the track, trying to hold on to that spot. The gap shrinking about another 10th. Gilbert hammers the wall again off of 2. He's going to knock it down if he hits it any harder. White flag coming out this time by.
One more time around, presented by Erhardt Homes. Love where you live. It's looking like we might just add another driver, our 10th one of the season. The 91 has 3/4 of a mile here in Virginia to bring himself a berth from 24th into the playoffs, the final 16. 1 race after this, Michael Reed is going to the playoffs for Racing Revolution.
What a phenomenal drive from the driver of the 91, Mike. Out of nowhere. He had good speed all night, but that last run, something just clicked. That car took off and was just able to hold off that gap from Travis Gilbert. Tell you what, the 22, though, very admirable job. He was coming in fast. This race was another 3-4 laps longer. I have a feeling the 22 would have got there.
Unbelievable finish here to what we could even chalk up to maybe an unbelievable race. So many tempers flared here tonight, and Michael Reed somehow gets through it all. I mean, survival. That's what it was. All the way to the end.
That was the theme of the night. Through the cautions, through the wrecks, through the attrition, and then to survive that last stint.
Final 27 laps. That's what he led. Impressive drive here for Michael Reed. I know a lot of people excited here in the chat. Let's go find him. Let's see if we can get him up here in victory lane.
Let's see, where is the 91? Is the, oh, there he is. All right, let's pull him in.
Michael Reed, it's Bradley Cooper and Alex Gagnon in the V-Speed booth. You're going to the playoffs, buddy. How about it?
Yes, thank you, sir. Good to hear from you. I didn't anticipate this one happening, but yeah, that put us in the playoffs.
Well, how about it? You led the last 27 laps of this race. I don't think you had any other moments there. Maybe staying out for a caution or two, but man, this race was rough. How did you avoid most of it? I think you might have even got through this race unscathed.
Yeah, I had a pretty clean race. It was physical though. It was a lot of pushing around out there. I'm not sure how much of that y'all caught of it. I have to apologize again. I apologized in the sim, but I have to apologize publicly to the 27. I absolutely wiped him out on the straightaway. Did not mean to do that, but other than that, we had a good clean race and just tried to stay out of trouble. It was a tough one though.
Well, then on top of that, you got people cheering for you left and right in this chat every single week. They pay attention to what position you're in, even if the camera's not on you. They were ecstatic. I mean, this one means a lot. You had 2 chances left to make it into the playoffs. You were 23rd or 24th in the points here coming into this week. So you needed this race to go right.
Yeah, this was pretty much it. Yeah, I think I came in 24th, and it was do or die because Daytona's, that's going to be a toss up of whoever gets that one. So this was pretty much the last chance, and managed to get it. So super stoked about it.
Congratulations. Going on to the postseason. You'll be the 10th different winner. Yes, I can confirm that. In Racing Revolution season number 4 that we've covered here on V-Speed. Anybody that you want to shout out, Michael, while we have you up in the booth?
Just the family that watches. I always appreciate their text and their viewership. Y'all guys at V-Speed, y'all do a great job, and this league for putting it on. This is just a ton of fun. Teammate, I got Grant Thorpe out there. He's in my ear helping me out, and we try to help each other out the best we can. So shout out to him as well.
Appreciate your time. Congratulations again. We look forward to seeing you at Daytona, but then it's on to playoff time, and we're going to start it off right. Michael Reed, 10th different winner. Congratulations.
Thanks, Bradley.
So now it's time to move on. We will go a little bit of a break here. I know we've had a lot of commercials here tonight, folks, but we got a lot to unpack. There was a lot going on. Alex Gagnon, Bradley Cooper. We'll be back here on V-Speed with the Chapman Cup Series, post-race coverage, your final race results, and we'll finish up the rest of our top 3 interviews in just a moment's time. Don't go anywhere. Back with more after this.
Chapman's been around for 32, almost 33 years. It's a great company. We've built it from 10 people not all that long ago to 32 people today. We continue to grow. We're hiring people all the time. If there's one thing that I could do, like before my time is up at Chapman, it is making sure that we've built a company that will stand the test of time. And my goal as the current owner of the company, or one of the owners of the company, is to ensure that we can pass the ownership of the organization on to the next generation of people coming up the ranks today. One area of our business where we impact the local communities pretty heavily is the school systems. So we work for school systems all over the northern part of the state of New Jersey. We operate their water systems, their wastewater systems. We do a lot of their permitting and compliance work, and we ensure that the water that the kids drink is clean. We go out and do the sampling to ensure that it's not contaminated. And we also treat the wastewater that's being generated at a lot of these facilities as well before it gets discharged to the environment. So we are supporting the local community through supporting the boards of education and the local school systems.
Welcome back to our post-race coverage live on V-Speed. It's the Chapman Cup Series, and we have a lot to unpack, but we have a new winner, 10th different winner, and another playoff berth. Michael Reed gets it. Trevor Keith, your Stage 1 winner, and it was caution plagued tonight. 16 of those cautions, 15 outside. Well, actually, it's all 16, Alex, because our stage break came at lap 32. If you go back, that was supposed to happen at lap 35, so that caution happening so close, they called a stage and gave it Trevor Keith up front at that moment. 8 lead changes, and it was kind of unexpected, as you said there, Alex, but hey, Michael Reed survived it.
That he did, and when it mattered most, he had the speed necessary. He went out there, he took it. And you see him there on that top spot of the race results. Travis Gilbert, Michael Call, your podium. We'll be talking to them in just a moment. Dakota Floyd finishing 4th, just ahead of Tyler Harrison. Dylan Picklesheimer, big day up from 23rd to 6th. Trevor Keith from the pole and the stage winner. He'll finish 7th here today. Kevin Orlando Jr. finishing 8th, with Nick Alves and Grant Thorpe rounding out the top 10.
11th goes to Parker Johnston. Rob Rader will get 12th position. Then you have Caleb Gilbert. Jeremy Burns, the leader in points, having a rough day, a lot of damage, but made the best of what he had. He'll get a top 15. Kyle Diaz started back in 28th. He's going to gain 13 positions to get this top 15. Then it's Kyle Stewart in 16th. Trevor Erhardt, Justin Ritchie in and out of the top 5 all day, back and forth through this field, but he's going to round out 18th. Brandon Richardson, 19th. Justice Murphy. The big topic here, where does everything fall? We eliminated a spot in this playoff. We moved these guys back. Justice Murphy was in that cut mark, just there in the 16th position. Not only did he have a bad finish, but we added another winner to this playoff bracket. So he might be outside looking in even deeper than he expected.
Yeah, he certainly might. And then the rest of your field here on the screen, Grant Turner finishing 21st here tonight, John Fike 22nd, Matt Robinson finishing 23rd, just ahead of Carter Linz and Alex Forget. Michael Bennett will finish 26th here this evening, just ahead of Jacob Sirkovich. Daniel Holloway finishing 28th, the only 2 DNFs really this evening. Chris Schaefer finishing in the 29th position, and Joe Joya with those KSX pit barrel cams, he'll be finishing in 30th.
Fortunate there, and I know that we're kind of making light of that, but Joe Joy, a good guy, and it's a shame that we had to use that camera for the first time on him. And we actually did it at Dover. I think we got one at Dover or maybe Darlington. We did get a chance to use it at one of those tracks, but again, it's never a fun time when somebody sponsors the pit barrels and your car shows up on that camera.
Yeah. That being said, it very well may have been Dover because I don't think I was able to cover that one, and I don't. That's why I'm saying it was the first. It might be the first that I've seen, so maybe that's why I'm saying that.
Well, we move down the rest of our podium. We have a driver to talk to. It's the 22 of Travis Gilbert. And Travis, you probably feel like you passed 1,000 cars here tonight. It was through the field on almost every restart you had. 2-tire call seemed to work every time you did it. Unfortunately, though, it seemed like you had to do it at the times that everybody else stayed out.
Yeah, just too many mistakes out of myself for this number 22 Vetatrack Ford Mustang. It's Racing for Freedom deserves better than that. I'm glad we were brought it home second, but the team deserves better out of me. For the last few weeks now, it's been if it's not my mistakes, I'm getting caught up in other people's stuff there. So it's good to be able to come home second, but if I could have just maintained the lead there with Rob on that restart, I really don't think anybody would have even been within a second of me there for the end of the race. So it's hard pill to swallow. I'm glad that the Vetatrack Ford Mustang for Racing for Freedom was fast, and I've got great teammates: Ray Lane, Tay McDonald, Kyle Diaz, John Fike, Brandon Richardson. We all practice and put in a lot of work, but these mistakes on pit road and putting myself in a bad spot, like that stuff's just got to get cleaned up for the playoffs.
Well, then, Travis, you move back there. You're in a good scenario as being a multi-time winner, but when you come to Richmond, guys are going to rough each other up, and it seemed like it was pretty physical out there. You yourself even had a moment there during this race.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It's Richmond. You just try to be clean. You know that on the restarts, you got to try to give a little bit of room, but it's get all you can get because of the car package. The car is harder to drive. The air package, the aero with it just being so difficult to get clean air because of the way that the car is designed. The air goes underneath the front of the car through the diffuser, and the trailing car loses all that ability. So when everybody else starts running the high line, you got to find something else. So I went back to the old Kurt Busch line that I know and have perfected over the years and have dominated many of Richmond races with. Matter of fact, you kind of seen it there a little bit with all the passes and the lap sweat. And if it wasn't for the mistakes, and I don't blame Trevor Keith, we got into it at Watkins Glen there. I apologize, but you can't block 3 times. You can block once, but 3 times you just put yourself in a bad spot. And I try to pride myself on being a clean race car driver, not to block people, to give them the outside lane. Matter of fact, or the inside lane. Rob did a super dive there on the restart that cost me the lead, and that's what got me spun around with Trevor. So just racing. It's Richmond, like you said, Bradley. Really proud of the Racing for Freedom team. We work our butts off. Got multiple wins this year. We got every driver into the playoffs other than John Fike. So next week will be the go to get the 65 into the playoffs and make all 4 Racing for Freedom drivers eligible.
You had to win there last week with Kyle Diaz. You're a multi-time winner. Congratulations, Travis Gilbert, and we'll see you in 1 week's time at Daytona.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you, Bradley.
And finally, Alex Gagnon has caught up to our 3rd place finisher, Michael Call, in the number 89. We talked to him mid-race. Take it away there, Alex.
Hey there, Michael. We got to talk to you a little bit earlier. Able to bring it home on the podium. Thought you might have a good chance there on that last stint to go for the race win. But most importantly, this was an adventure tonight, to say the least. What was it like from your perspective, trying to keep yourself, dialed in and in position through all the cautions?
Honestly, I was ahead of it all. I saw a lot of it in the rearview mirror. I just knew track position's so big here with how it funnels down and on restarts, and it's so easy to get into someone or even just spin by yourself off of 2. I mean, I did it a couple times, almost wrecked. I got loose on the entry of 1 there late after, I think it was almost after when I spoke with you guys, and I dropped back, 5-6 spots and kind of was able to drive back through the field.
Let's drive back through the field. You did. You got all the way up to 2nd on that last run. You were trying to chase down the 91. Both of you guys looking for a kind of a win and in situation. Was there anything on that last stint that you could do differently, or is that where the car was at there at the end of the race?
maybe take left side tires. It's the stage. I'm not sure, man. It just, as soon as I got clear of TK, and I was keeping pace with Reed really well, and I was thinking, man, if he's running this hard, he's burning his stuff up. But being in that half second to 6/10 window it really burns your stuff up. And right there, about 10, 12 to go, I realized there was no shot of catching him. And I saw Travis coming on fresh tires in my mirror, and I went, hey, my best shot now is Travis gets to him, they get to racing, and maybe I get a shot at it. So I kind of let Travis by, knowing that my season doesn't really change if I finish second or third there, and was kind of hoping he'd get to him and maybe, rough him up or run hard, or, Reed's got to win, so he's going to block him, and you never know what could happen from there. So I knew I wasn't going to be able to hold him off. But no, there was not much left of the right front by the end of the race.
That is fair, but ultimately still netted you a podium finish here tonight. Still a strong run. Michael, anyone you want to shout out on tonight's podium effort?
Shield fire protection. If you race IRL and need some fire gear, which is safety gloves, race suits, anything like that, or if you need some stem racing gloves, I'm your guy. Shout out to all the Rolling Thunder guys and Lightning Fast Motorsports. About halfway through the season, made a little bit of a change and started kind of just working with them, not officially on the team or anything. There's nothing set in stone for future, but they've really, really helped me progress. In these last string of races, I've been super quick and just either make a little mistake or get caught up in something. But no, we were quick. I appreciate you guys. Your guys' broadcast is incredible. One of the best ones I've ever seen on iRacing, and all the league sponsors, all the admins, everybody for racing hard and clean tonight. I know there's a lot of cautions, but I think a lot of it's just product of the racetrack, and it shows at Iowa how long we went on a similar racetrack that it's doable in the league.
Absolutely. Well, Michael, thank you so much for dropping by. Congrats on the podium finish here tonight. And we will see you next week at Daytona for the regular season finale.
Yeah, you'll see me there. I'm not sure for how long, but you'll see me.
Well, we'll wish you best of luck nonetheless.
Thanks, guys.
And that is third place finisher tonight, Michael Call in the 89 machine, bringing it home on the podium. But with where he's at in the points, you could tell he certainly would have liked to be just a couple spots higher.
Yeah, and as he said, it doesn't affect the situation too much if he's second or third, but a win would have helped tremendously. And I know for Michael Reed, it was all he had. It was Trevor Keith, it was, Rob Rader, a few others that are just in situations where they need these victories. And it's Michael Reed that gets it done. So a big win here. He's going to the playoffs. We have one race left here of the regular season. So that's going to do it here for this 3/4 mile short track. It's time for some super speedway racing as we get set for the last race, week number 24. Look at this. August 27th at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time at the World Center of Racing, and anybody can find their way to victory lane here. What a way to end this regular season, Alex.
I wouldn't have it any other way, honestly. The World Center of Racing getting both to kick off the season and end the regular season feels like a very fitting way to get it done. And, we haven't had enough chaos this season, so why not add one more wild card into the mix before we get going playoff racing.
Hope you enjoyed tonight's action of the Chapman Cup Series. If you did, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You will never miss a single race here at Racing Revolution. We cover the Truck Series and the Cup Series all season long, flag to flag. For our co-commentator, Alex Gagnon, doing a fantastic job this season. Adam Baker, Morgan Cook, and everybody in between, Eddie Smith, all these guys that helped put this show together. This is Bradley Cooper saying so long from Richmond Raceway. One more race left in the regular season, and then it's playoff time for Racing Revolution. Stay tracking, everybody.